G'day, can't mess with me. My name's Jacob. I'm your nature specialist, and today we're going to see how to make a fire. Now, we're going to see 3 ways of making a fire. First, with nothing but batteries and steel wool. Secondly, with a magnifying glass, using nothing but the power of our buddy the sun. And thirdly, basic techniques to make a fire in any situation. Now let's say you're taking a walk in the woods and then night falls. You don't know what to do. It's getting chilly, it's getting cold. How are you going to stay warm? Well, that's why you need to know how to make a fire. Alright, so first thing first, with any fire, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't have the essentials. Now the essentials are, you need twigs, you need dry leaves, you need the small things that'll catch fire easy like that, because all you can get sometimes in a situation like this is an ember, and if that ember doesn't turn into a fire, then you're good as gone, my friend. So aside from all these fancy fire starting techniques with steel wool and batteries and magnifying glasses, if you're a normal person, you most likely have a lighter with you or some matches. Now, good things to bring with you on a camping trip. This is jute. It's a type of rope and it's very frail. You could use it for all kinds of purposes. You set up a line to dry your clothes if you get them wet. All kinds of things you need a rope for. But what it's best for starting fires is very frail. So you can take it out, and essentially it burns really easy. Now, another thing good to have is cotton balls. Now, cotton balls, nothing burns easier than cotton balls. Why? Because they're cotton and they're easy to pull apart like this. And cotton balls can be used all kinds of reasons. The ladies, they know it the most. Cotton balls are used for makeup. Sometimes, if I ever have a bloody nose, I'll put a cotton ball up there. Sometimes you got to put eardrops, cotton ball. Cotton balls are useful for all situations. So get your cotton balls, get your jute, get your essentials, and get started with your fire. Now, steel wool is always something handy to have, because if you're not using it to save your life and make a fire, you can use it to scrub the dishes. Always good to have steel wool in a camping situation. Now, once you've gathered all the essentials, you got your twigs, you got your dry leaves. Luckily, where I ended up getting lost, here at camping at Camp Messawippi, there is no shortage of the essentials. So I also had a couple cotton balls with me, so I put that right there in the middle. And you're gonna wanna really treat your fire like a baby. You're gonna have to cuddle it, you're gonna have to take care of it, you're gonna have to feed it, you're gonna have to make sure it grows, and eventually when it's strong and independent enough, you let it be, and then you have yourself a nice fire, keep you warm through the night, and you don't have to worry too much about it. But at the beginning, you gotta be careful. So now, you wanna spread this out as much as possible. The more air it has, the better it is. So, rip yourself off a couple pieces like this. Beautiful. And you're going to want to get ready to put the essentials on it right away to keep it growing and keep it burning. So if I come up to it.
So you see me here, I got my 9-volt battery. Let's say you had a flashlight, you had something like that has one of these batteries in it, always handy. Well, all you got to do, it's as simple as that, you tap it. So once I tap it, then there's going to be an ember. And when the ember goes on, I'm going to need to put my leaves, put my dry stuff on, put my cotton balls on. I'm going to want to cuddle it until it turns into a fire. And you're also going to want to blow on it. So look at that. I'm actually going to get it ready beforehand. So it's easy to burn. Get all my leaves on top. All right. You ready? Look at that. See that? Now you come up. And then start blowing. Now you're gonna want to put your sticks. You're gonna want to get it burning as soon as possible.
Make sure she doesn't die on you. Keep the leaves on it, keep the sticks on it, keep the essentials, keeping it burning, and blow on it, feed it. She ain't independent yet. Gonna keep feeding her dry leaves, blowing on her. She's getting there. Look at that beauty. She's a beauty. Now blowing on it, probably one of the most important things you can do. Because a fire needs three things. It needs fuel, so the essentials, the wood, the leaves. It needs air to breathe, and it needs heat. So we gave it the fuel and the heat with a battery, and now we got to give it the air, and we got to keep giving it fuel if we want it to survive. Now unfortunately, our buddy the sun doesn't want to be peeking out. So I don't think I'll be able to show you guys how to use a magnifying glass. So I'm going to give you a brief rundown of how it works. Just like with our fire, with the battery and the steel wool, you're going to gather the essentials. You're going to get some, preferably some wool, something that lights very easily. And what you're going to do is you're going to look up at the sun, look for a ray of light. Let's say there's a ray of light right here. I put my magnifying glass right in the light, and then you see the shadow on the floor, and you'd want to adjust it, tilt it, raise it, lower it until the circle at the bottom from the going through the magnifying glass is as small as possible. The smaller it is, the more it's like a laser. So the laser, it heats up, the more precise it is, the harder it is. Don't put your fingers in the way, and you're going to see some smoke in action. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pass on the basic survival fire starting techniques. Now, to start a fire, there are many different ways. So one of the basic ways and one of the best ways to start a fire from 0 to 100 is a teepee method. And that's essentially when you pack on the essentials at the bottom, you get your sticks stacked like a teepee, like a triangle all around it, and you go from smaller to bigger, and you add on as the fire grows. And that's because the fire rises, so if it's on a teepee, the branches at the top are getting burnt, and then it expands to the sides as it burns, so everything is getting burnt at the optimal rate. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna lay my foundation. So put my cotton balls at the bottom, plus we already got a little bit of embers from my other fire, so it's just gonna make it a whole lot easier. Get your cotton balls, you get your sticks. So essentially what you're gonna wanna be doing right now is going to be laying your foundation. So my foundation is going to be cotton balls at the bottom, leaves, dry leaves, mind you, little twigs, all kinds of little twigs all around. And luckily here at camping, we are not in low supply of twigs. Get your leaves, your twigs all around. Now you're going to want to go and find bigger branches, because the bigger the teepee gets, the more you're going to want to have sticks growing larger and larger. Alright, so I got my sticks, I got my little pile, lighter. So I'm going to place my sticks on top of the little pile I made. Just like this. Like that. And now you want to make sure, remember, the three essentials are fuel, which is the wood, oxygen, which means it needs air, and heat. So this brings the heat. We got the fuel right there, and we got to make sure that we're not putting too much, because then there's going to be no oxygen, and if we're missing one of the 3 ingredients for a fire, we're never going to get a fire. So I come up, go to the bottom, light it up, let the fire expand, blow on it. Now remember, you're going to want to baby this fire as much as possible until she's grown enough on her own, burning like she's supposed to burn, and you don't have to watch her every 2 to 3 minutes. So until then, I'm going to wait for the fire to be burning properly. Oh, look at this. I just found some birch bark. Some birch bark is nature's fire starter. You get it off the white trees, birch trees, and this stuff, watch it burn. It burns like a miracle. It burns slowly, it burns easily, and it burns for a while. Not like these leaves, which burn hot for 2 seconds. Look at it. Notice how I'm doing it all in a triangle, like a teepee, hence the name, the teepee technique. As the fire burns, it's burning upward, burning all the wood, and it grows out to the sides, keeps that wood burning too.
Alright, so I went out and gathered a couple bigger logs. Now our fire is burning all right. I don't have to watch too much. You'd want to burn it a bit more, add a bit more wood, but I ain't here to stay. So you could be cooking up a meal on there, cooking some marshmallows with your buds, staying warm throughout the night, and survive until the morning where you can find yourself back home. Alright, this has been Surviving with Jacob 101, fire starting. Stay tuned for next week. Stay safe. I love you, Camp Massawippians.